Yo, the Nike Vapormax is trash, but the off-white Nike Vapormax, fire. What is going on, guys? Hess here, CollectiveKicks.com. If you guys want to shop for the top sneaker deals of the week, go to the website and check it out. This is going to be my pro and con video to the Nike Vapormax from the Off-White collection. So first off, if you're asking yourself, what is the Off-White collection? I'll give you guys just a quick little recap. Basically, Nike launched 10 iconic restructured sneakers designed by Virgil Abloh. Virgil's company that he owns is called Off-White. Although a lot of the sneakers have an off-white sort of tone to the shoes, that's not necessarily the reason why they're called Off-White. It's because of Virgil's brand. So now that you have a little bit of a background to what the collection is, I'll show you guys an overview and then we'll get right into the pros and cons. So you can see the Off-White Vapormax looks pretty much like the regular Vapormax with a bunch of different additions to the shoe. So first things first, you can see the baseball style stitching on the Nike swoosh, which is a nice little addition to the shoe. The swoosh is actually leather. The only other thing that I failed to mention was the little orange tag, of course, right here, versus the hyperfused version on the regular Vapormax. Obviously, the quotation marks is a big thing within this Off-White collection, and you can see it says Air on the side of the shoe. The midsole and the sole are pretty much exactly the same as the regular pair. The only thing is on the Off-White pair, you don't see the Nike swoosh right here. The back section of the shoe also says Vapormax, as you can see, but it does feature a pull tab on the Off-White version versus the regular one that has no pull tab. On the inside of the Off-White pair, though, this insole just comes right out. I'm actually really surprised that this isn't like glued down at all, but it didn't stick at all on the bottom of these shoes. So on the medial side of the shoe, you could see that it has the Off-White branding. It says Off-White for Nike, Nike Air Vapormax, Beaverton, Oregon, USA, C 2017. Beaverton, Oregon, USA is obviously a nod to Beaverton, and it's kind of like sample branding on the shoe, which is kind of a cool little nod. And I grew up in this area, so it's kind of cool to see that on a shoe. But that is just painted on really lightly, and you can see in the Flyknit material, it's kind of rubbed off in that section. The overall Flyknit construction is exactly the same on the shoe as the regular released pair, so there's no difference. It does have the fly wire underneath like the red pair, except for this one is black, so you can't really see it, but it is there. And obviously there is no Nike swoosh on the inside. So moving on to the most unique part about the shoe has to be this tongue and the way that it is set on the shoe. It has a raw edge tongue, as you can see, and then it has the Nike Sportswear logo on the tongue. But here's where it gets interesting. You could see that the tongue is on the bottom layer. So I don't know if you can see it, but this is a big V right here of black suede, and it's just stitched down on top of the tongue, which is on top of the Vapormax. So it really is just two additional pieces to the top of the shoe. And here is the proof for that. You could see on the back side of the tongue, it's just stitched on the tongue. And this is exactly the same cut and this exactly the same layout as the original Vapormax pair. So as a side-by-side comparison, all you're seeing is basically they have this extra little suede plate over top of the tongue, and then it's just stitched on. You could really make this yourself if you can get one of these tongues that is perforated in the same manner. It's not even functional though, because like on the original Vapormax, if you saw my review video, the tongue is sewn down except for the top little split section, which I really do like. It actually makes a nice little snug look and feel to the shoe, but this is just like an armor plate on top of it basically. It's just exactly the same. It's almost like they could take a triple black pair and sew on the Nike swoosh and then the tongue and then the plate. For those wondering about the sizing of the shoe, I would say they run a little bit snug. These are a 9.5 and they fit me pretty snug. I definitely couldn't go to a 9, but they do fit the same way as the regular Vapormax. I feel like the more you wear them, the more it stretches out and they fit to your foot, but all in all, size 9.5 is what I have. I probably could have gone to a 10 if I wanted a little bit more wiggle room. Something else that I forgot to mention is the tags on the shoe. It's not that interesting, honestly. It's just a little tag that goes on the shoe. I wouldn't keep this on the shoe. I don't know why people were wearing these when they actually rock the shoe. It's not like it's an authentication tag or anything. It's kind of a really bad idea. That's pretty much it, an overview of the shoe. There's definitely a lot of interesting features about this Vapormax. So let's go ahead and get into the pros and cons. We're going to start off with the pros, and the first one is that to me this is just an overall great collection. It kind of brings back the luster that I think we've been missing when we have these packs that have been releasing, such as like the Christmas pack, the Easter packs, the BHM, Black History Month, and all these other random packs that Nike and company have released through the years. Back when we had the Galaxy pack, that was probably the best like released sneaker pack. This might be the next one in line since that pack. Like there really hasn't been too solid of sneaker packs. And this year I haven't even heard anything about a Christmas pack coming from Nike. So it's kind of cool that they brought this one out. And how crazy is it that they released 10 different pairs of sneakers and they all got a lot of love from the consumer market. It was definitely kind of a big risk from Nike to be able to do something like this. And it could have just been another pack that was released that just sat on the walls. So another pro that I wanted to mention is that they had the ability to release 10 different pairs of shoes, or 9 of them that released, and have the shoes released in a saturated market, but still maintain the hype about the collection. And it was definitely a way of thinking outside of the box, and in some cases, reversing the box, as you could see quite literally with the way that they ended up designing the boxes inside out. I think that it was just so off the wall crazy how they ended up releasing these and making it in such a unique manner. It was definitely something that we haven't seen before, and it was something better than just creating a new colorway of a shoe that we've already seen 1,000 colorways on. It also brought back some demand to some sneakers that most people just wouldn't even care about. Like I said in the beginning of this video, most people didn't care about the Vapormax at all until they saw this shoe, and they're like all of a sudden all about the Vapormax. It's kind of funny. And shout out to Lena for gifting me this pair, but this is the other shoe where a lot of people just don't really feel the Nike Blazers, but this off-white Nike Blazer is super dope to them. So across the board, like Nike really hit a home run with this. The Air Force Ones are sought after. The Hyperdunks are sought after. I mean, basically half of this collection in some colorway or in another is at outlets for like $50, yet they can charge more of a premium price for these releases and have them be well received by the public. That's not something easy to pull off. I think that the promotion of the shoe went really well also. Blog sites really wanted to pick up the information about the shoe, any sort of details about how to get them and what the release was going to look like. So I think another pro about the shoe is, you could see here, they came with a variety of different laces, and I like the fact, obviously it says shoelaces. It was something that was definitely unique, but I like the fact that all 10 pairs come with these same colored laces. So you have that neon green, kind of that neon orange, black and white, and they all pretty much have that same color pattern, which I thought was cool. It kind of gives it a nice unique theme to the 10 pairs that released. I gotta say, a big pro about this release was the fact that this dropped on Nike sneakers in such a large way. It gave people like myself the ability to be able to buy the pairs from sneakers instead of getting them from a boutique. A lot of times these boutiques just seem to be really corrupt and have favorites. It is something that I'll be doing a video on in the future about boutiques and backdooring and those type of things. Some of you guys mentioned in one of my last videos that you guys wanted to see me do that video, so stay tuned for that. But I do like the fact that it was a bigger release on the sneakers app though, because again, I wouldn't have been able to cop a pair otherwise, so I definitely am thankful for that. And the last pro is, if you guys really wanted a pair from 2017, it sounds like they have a new collection coming in 2018. We'll see what they ended up doing with that release and how many pairs, but as we already know, a couple different colorways have already surfaced. So moving on to the cons about this Vapormax. So the first con is, as I already mentioned, the reconstruction of the shoe is just basically a regular pair with a couple different stitches and an added layer of a tongue and a cover of the tongue, along with another swoosh over top of the same location. It really is something where anyone could kind of customize this if they had the right parts. At first glance though, from a distance, it looks really unique, but as you look at them up close, the thing that got me was the fact that the tongue was just sewn on the back. But I do like the fact that it doesn't jeopardize the integrity of the shoe structure, because they added on the tongue instead of just creating a new tongue and then making it fit really weird. They made the shoe engineered a specific way, so they just kind of added on to that, which does make sense. So it's not a full con, but all in all, it feels a little bit like the okie dokie like was pulled on us, because we were able to go ahead and just buy something with a couple little bells and whistles added on top of it, but it's fundamentally the same shoe. If I had a nitpick, I would say a con would be rocking these with the tags. You don't need to be rocking your Vapormax or any of your off-white collection with the red tag. Just take it off. Save your ankles the favor and just take them off. It makes no sense of keeping it on the shoe. Another potential con could be the fact that this was such a limited shoe. Now, I know it could be a pro for some, it could be a con for other people as well. Obviously, if you weren't able to get a pair, you'd think it would be a con, because it's unfortunate you weren't able to get a pair of the shoes that you may have desired. Unfortunately, it's really hard to judge the market on how many pairs you can release without oversaturating and making it watered down to the point where nobody cares about any of the shoes that are releasing. Huge con for me is the fact that the price point was $250. That is painful, man. The retail on the regular pair is I think $190, so $250 is an extra $60 for the extra added construction. That's really a stretch for me. But the other part of it that's crazy is the blazers in the backdrop were only $130 retail, so it's nuts the fact that these are $250 retail. I don't know, that stings the pockets a little bit. As I mentioned, the 2018 releases, one potential con could be them oversaturating the market and having all of the Off-White collection just be a mainstay and just releasing too many pairs in too many different styles to the point, again, where it saturates the market, which is something that we don't necessarily want. We like to have something a little bit different, and it's cool if they make more pairs and stuff of different types of pairs, but if they overdo anything, if anybody overdoes anything, it just kind of ruins it. So that's what we want to preserve, hopefully, and not have them ruin their releases by overdoing it. Again, sort of nitpicking, the deconstructed look, you're seeing a lot of copycats in a sense on the sneaker market. Customs and stuff inspired by the Off-White, which is totally cool. And then also you'll see that Off-White branding sort of copycatted the way that we have this written on the box. It's sort of like a nod to the collection, but at the same time it's sort of a copycat sort of action, and some people may not like it, some people may like it. So that pretty much covers all my pros and cons about the Nike Vapormax. My final verdict about the shoe: I think it's a great collection. It's hard to say that you can release something unique in this day and age, and I really feel like what they did definitely turned heads. It definitely kind of turned the sneaker design market on its head. It was such an outside the box approach to being able to release a sneaker the way that they did. And I'm one of the people that at first was just like, I don't get it. But the more you see it and the more you hear about it, the more you can appreciate what was released. And I think that they did a knockout job on this. For those wondering, this second pair of the Vapormax that I ended up securing, as you could see if you guys missed my double up video, I'm actually going to be selling these to IMTMC11 on YouTube or Instagram if you guys follow him. He struck out on these and he reached out and I told him I'd give them to him for retail. So shout out to the homie. He's just one of those dudes that you know is super into sneakers. Somebody else that I admire that definitely appreciates sneakers the way that I do. And hopefully he'll enjoy his Vapormax. Sometimes it's easy to turn a profit on a pair of sneakers, but at the end of the day, I'd just rather help somebody out with a pair. I've done that quite a bit, you know, like I gifted Cousteau Chicago 1s, Tony D2 Wild Supreme Air Maxes. I helped Bull get the Kubo 15s, Air Jordan 15s. I gave Teddy a couple boost balls to give away on his channel. And I do it just to do it, not because I'm looking for anything in return. It's just kind of nice to be able to help people out. So hopefully you guys understand that feeling. And if you guys have helped somebody else out on a pair of sneakers for retail or for gifting them or whatever, leave a comment in the comment section and let me know what you guys did. Curious to see. Anyways, appreciate you guys for watching the video. Thank you guys for stopping by the channel. If you guys, again, are new to the channel, hit the subscribe button, notification bell, thumbs up if you like it, yada, yada, yada. We'll catch you guys for some more sneaker videos very soon. Peace, guys.